The rescue ship Meridian's Hope hung in orbit above Zarthon 7. Its medical bay bustling with controlled chaos. Dr. Vel, a Thorinian physician with 4 graceful arms and silver-scaled skin, moved between examination tables where rescued trafficking victims awaited treatment. Most were adults, hardened by years of captivity, but one case had everyone stumped. In the corner of the bay, a small Kethron cub pressed itself against the wall, trembling. Its fur, which should have been a vibrant orange, was matted and dull grey. The cub couldn't have been more than 6 solar cycles old, barely past infancy for its species. Subject refuses all contact. Velkara reported to Captain Zorith via CUM. We've tried 3 different medics. The moment anyone approaches, it becomes violent. It's injured, Zorith replied, concern evident even through the translator. Those wounds need treatment or infection will set in. I'm aware, Captain, but we cannot force treatment on a sentient being, even a juvenile. The psychological trauma, a commotion near the airlock, interrupted her. Isabella Chen stepped through, still wearing her combat gear from the raid that had freed these victims. Oliver Martinez followed close behind, both humans looking exhausted but determined. We heard you're having trouble, Isabella said, her dark eyes scanning the medical bay until they landed on the cowering cub. Velkara's scales rippled with frustration. The young one refuses treatment. We've exhausted our options. I was about to recommend sedation, though I hate to add more trauma. Don't, Oliver said firmly. Let us try first. The Threnian doctor hesitated. She'd worked with humans before knew their reputation as the galaxy's most stubborn problem solvers, but this seemed beyond even their capabilities. Still, what did they have to lose? Very well, but please, be careful. The cub has already bitten Dr. Chanel quite severely. Isabella nodded and approached slowly, keeping her movements deliberate and non-threatening. She stopped several meters away from the cub and lowered herself to sit cross-legged on the floor. Oliver remained standing but stayed back, giving her space to work. The cub watched her with wide, terrified eyes. Up close, Isabella could see the extent of its injury's burns across its shoulder, a poorly healed gash along its ribs, and what looked like malnutrition-induced weakness in its limbs. Hey there, little one, Isabella said softly, making no move to approach further. I know you're scared. I know everyone here seems like they want to hurt you. The cub's ears flattened against its skull. Isabella continued talking, her voice low and steady. You know what? When I was about your age, I got lost in the woods near my home. I was terrified. Every sound was a monster, every shadow a threat. And when the rescue workers found me, I wouldn't let them near me either. I scratched and bit and screamed. She paused, remembering. Oliver, who knew the story well, remained silent and still. My abuela, my grandmother, she was the one who finally got through to me. You know what she did? Nothing. She just sat with me. Didn't try to grab me. Didn't try to force me to do anything. She just existed nearby, safe, steady. The cub's trembling had lessened slightly, though it remained pressed against the wall. I'm not going to touch you, Isabella continued. Not until you're ready. But I'm going to stay right here, okay? Because you're hurt, and you're scared, and you deserve to have someone who cares nearby. Minutes passed. Then an hour. The medical staff went about their other duties, shooting occasional glances at the human sitting motionless on the floor. Oliver brought Isabella water, which she accepted without breaking her vigil. The cub watched her. Occasionally, it would growl or bare its small fangs. And each time, Isabella would simply nod in acknowledgement and continue her soft monologue stories about Earth, about her family, about the stars she'd seen in her travels. It was during a story about her brother's terrible cooking that something shifted. The cub's ears twitched forward, just slightly. Isabella noticed, but didn't change her approach. "So there we were," she said, a smile in her voice, "with what was supposed to be spaghetti, but looked more like some kind of science experiment. Even the dog wouldn't eat it." A sound emerged from the cub, not quite a growl, but not quite anything else either. Isabella slowly extended her hand, palm up, and placed it on the floor between them. "I am right area if you need me, pequeño." No pressure, no demands. Another hour passed. The cub's breathing had steadied. Its eyes, while still wary, had lost some of their wild panic. Then, so gradually that even Isabella almost missed it, the cub moved. One small paw forward, then another. Its body remained low, ready to bolt at any sign of threat. Isabella didn't move. She barely breathed. The cub crept closer, inch by painful inch. When it reached her outstretched hand, it sniffed cautiously. Isabella remained perfectly still, and then, in a moment that made Valkara's scales shimmer with astonishment, the cub leaned forward and pressed its head against Isabella's chest. The human moved carefully, wrapping her arms around the small body. The cub burrowed deeper into her embrace, its trembling resuming, but for different reasons. Now the release of fear held too long. "I've got you," Isabella whispered. "You're safe now. I promise." Oliver stepped forward slowly, kneeling beside them. "Will you let us help you now, little one? We have medicine that will make the hurting stop." The cub looked up at him with large, liquid eyes. After a long moment, it gave a small, uncertain chirp. Valkara approached with her medical scanner, moving with exquisite care. "Remarkable," she breathed. "In 15 years of practice, I've never—" "Humans truly are extraordinary, not extraordinary," Isabella corrected gently, stroking the cub's matted fur. "Just patient. Sometimes that's all anyone needs, someone willing to wait." The treatment took another 2 hours. The cub remained pressed against Isabella the entire time, only flinching slightly when Valkara applied the healing gel to its wounds. Oliver kept up a steady stream of gentle conversation, his deep voice providing a soothing counterpoint to the medical equipment's beeps and hums. When it was finally over, the cub had fallen asleep in Isabella's arms, its breathing deep and steady for perhaps the first time in years. "We'll need to find its family," Captain Zorith said, having come down to witness the conclusion. "Or suitable guardians." "Already on it," Oliver replied, pulling up data on his tablet. "There's a Kethron colony ship that specializes in rehabilitation. They have families willing to foster." Isabella looked down at the sleeping cub. "Make sure they know what this little one's been through. Make sure they understand it'll take time." "We will," Valkara assured her. "Thanks to you, it has that time now." As the Meridian's Hope prepared to transfer its rescued passengers to proper care facilities, word spread through the ship about what had happened in the medical bay. It became another story in the growing legend of humans, the species that could face down battleships without fear, yet possessed infinite patience for a traumatized child. The cub, when it finally awoke, looked up at Isabella with something new in its eyes. Not fear, not anymore. Trust, and in the cold vastness of space, That simple act of connection reminded everyone aboard why they did what they did, why they fought against the darkness, one rescue at a time. Because sometimes salvation didn't come through force or technology. Sometimes it came through a human willing to sit on a floor and wait.